The teams know it, we know it, the audience surely knows it. Everything is determined by the junglers in this matchup so far. We've seen a couple bad looks and a couple good looks from both of them. I feel like Ananasik, especially in the last 2 games, has kind of been stepping over Meliodas, so all eyes on how he's going to continue to try to exploit that with this pip, or if Meliodas is going to kind of return to form and start getting off these crazy ganks that we know him for.
And again, between watching the pathing and the lane priority, there'll be a lot to look for here in that first 5 minutes. Right now, we can see all 10 champions just spread across the neutral zone of the Rift. Doesn't look like too many wards are going down, nor maybe going to rotate over, but just going to ward that brush there for the scuttle. And I think, again, for both these teams, take a deep breath, just try and play this game out, and I'm expecting things to slow down a little bit, at least in the early game.
Although, we do have an Infernal Drake, so...
Alright, maybe not that much.
I'm ready to speed it all up. It's not going to be a leash, but it is going to be a bottom start for Meliodas. Again, watch this for Pallet and Big Koro. If this team goes to the main stage, they love doing stuff like this, of making sure that they get priority towards the lane, that they can play aggressive. And so even when Meliodas does start on their side of the map, they almost never assist him or never leash for him.
He's going red into Krug, and Ananasik is red over the wall straight to top lane.
Welcome to CIS.
Has the Q up in 2 seconds.
Enjoy your stay.
In he goes. Zeros only level 1. Does have the flash. Probably going to have to use it pretty quickly here. Does use it.
And of course, one of the cool things about Vi is, like Nidalee, she's one of the few junglers that can look for gank paths like that, because you can go or have access to go over the walls such early on. And it just makes pathing and kind of the speed to which you can get these early ganks off really impressive.
And then unlike Nidalee, actually it's CC when she goes in. Albeit, it's kind of tough to hit before your ultimate, but still a very aggressive path. He takes the Scuttle Crab. He's actually going to force the map vertically now as he moves towards the blue buff.
So we talked about the vertical jungling previously. You can now see it in effect this time around, as it feels like both junglers are just going to trade their blue buffs. And that's simply because Boss has now helped in burning Zeros' flash, and they want to get Boss ahead. It seems like Ananasik is like, it's fine, I can take over this. There's no reason for Meliodas to be here. You can be aggressive and try to punish this Akali. And since we have Tahm Kench and Ashe, they should be safe enough to play with the added pressure of Rek'Sai peeking around down here.
They're actually going for a dive. Meliodas waits for the wave. Now going to try and go in onto the Tahm Kench. You have to think TP in from Vega, going to try and defend here. So Feng Fu Buffalo will back off, but that's Boss committed. He looks to stun Big Koro. Good flash there. It does have to use the summoner to get out.
I mean, the silver lining here is that Boss doesn't lose a ton by making this TP. You know, he TP'd from the aggressive position up into the top lane. That was actually a really cheeky Prey Seeker there, trying to cancel the back. That would have been actually big brain for Meliodas if that worked.
Fortunately, not quite in range, as Ananasik is back ready to try and Q somebody. But Null just going to walk away, as Meliodas can't really decide where he wants to go here. I mean, he had opportunity to maybe take a buff away, instead chose to gank. So if Ananasik goes for this blue and gets it, again, Ananasik will 3-buff his jungle opponent.
And this just feels like... I'm very curious what happens in comms for PVB, because it just feels like the louder voice is winning out. The fact that Meliodas has the opportunity to go to vertical jungling, and he tries to break it or force ganks both times, and then it just ends up really punishing him is kind of a head scratcher right there. The fact that you're trying to force a dive at level 3 against people who have cleanse, who have 2 flashes, one of them is a Tahm Kench, and you're not accounting for an aggressive TP. Like, yeah, it's nice to get the TP off of Boss. Maybe that helps Zeros out in the long run, but I don't know. That could have gone very sideways for PvP.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused, to be honest. But if we think about the jungle matchup and how integral it's been, I believe that's our 4th 3-buff in a row. And fun fact, the jungler that has gotten the 3-buff has won every time. So if you're a Vega fan, good news.
I love fun facts. As we're probably...
Trevor's not here yet, I have to do something.
No quick stats!
Oh, don't worry, I'm not going there. Vault Breaker coming in. Look at a Big Koro, fights Pallet instead, they'll take it. No first blood this time for Gadget, but at least gets the damage down.
Again, just trying to create clever gank pathing by using the ability to go over walls is, he's not done here. Maybe he is.
You never know which way it is. But Ananasik just takes the control ward. Doesn't want to go too crazy onto Meliodas.
The thing is,
having a level lead.
I can't get a read for these players and their aggression. I'm like, he shouldn't do that, but I think he really wants it.
Null doing work here up against No Man's. Doesn't have Ignite, but he's going to just force the Valkyrie away. Of course, with both having Flash. Not really likely to get a kill, but Orianna continuing to show power here in the matchup.
Hold up.
Boss is proxying. Zero slow back towards the tower. He's struggling a little here. After getting that flash burn, Boss is actually up almost 10 CS.
I want to say he's struggling a lot here. That's a big CS difference, and even more importantly, the fact that Boss is able to play so aggressive and so far forward that he's actually going to get away with not needing his TP for a free back to match a Kali's TP. He can force that lane in and then just take a free back and walk.
Oh, he's level 6. Vanguard's Edge will connect, but in the Shroud still. Terra's gonna have to pop out soon, but Boss doesn't want to die. Here in the bot lane, looking for a big core. They do find it there with the knockup. Damage is there, and Gadget again will grab first blood.
And it's finally working out for Vega Squadron to pay attention to this bot lane. And Meliodas just looks completely lost on this map right now.
And Anasik certainly getting the better of. Oh my goodness, PVB. This reeks of desperation. Big Kara and Pallet both down, and they get nothing.
I mean, at the same time, it's an unsealed spellbook Braum, so I agree with you. Maybe if that was like the top laner and the mid laner that showed up, you're like, oh no, not this. But because it was the bot lane just trying to trade it around, I do like the change up of tempo here, going from defense back onto offense and being like, okay, we have a buy advantage, we had a TP, let's try to force Infernal, but it's being matched here by Vega.
Yeah, Sanders also with the unsealed spellbook, so is Null, by the way, but we'll talk about that later. Meliodas looking for Nomad, flashes in, Pallet gonna have to try and protect him.
Null's got no mana.
Yeah, and Meliodas has got no health, so I'm not sure that PVB can do too much here.
Yeah, I think that means that PVB have no chance. We'll see if Vega Squadron are respectful. It looks like it. Ash, not sitting on a lot of items, has like some biscuits and a Doran shield to her name, so probably wants to take that back.
And Gadget does not have TP, notably, so doesn't have the same luxury, and teams will just walk away slowly from the Infernal Drake. Meliodas trying to finish off the Raptor camp. Should be just fine here.
I feel like I was faked out by the observers right there. I was like, he's really low. He's on the Raptor camp. Is he going to die?
What do they know that I don't? Well, nothing right now.
He's okay.
And Anasik, and actually both junglers getting quite a bit closer to level 6. That, of course, changes the equation considerably for both of them. But do have to tip the hat again to Anasik, who seems to be maybe getting in the head of his opponent a little bit. Certainly feels like he's gotten the read on the situation, is only playing better as the games have dragged on.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the mental fortitude coming out of Vega Squadron so far. Like, people watched the first 2 games, and I'm sure a lot of people turned it off. They're like, this is over, there's no comeback here. But to settle yourself, especially when you're against the hometown heroes of the Vietnamese squad, can be no easy task. So, already in Game 4, I'm actually really impressed with Vega Squadron.
Yeah, I was kind of with the crowd, and it just seemed like it was all over after the first 2, but...
You're ready to write the obituary?
Yeah, thankfully didn't pick up my pen, because would have been very wrong in that case. Vega's still fighting strong. They have a small lead of about a few hundred gold, but as I think somewhat expected, this game is playing out pretty conservatively between the 2 teams. I think Vega can start to realize that, okay, we can win this series, so we don't want to throw it away with some reckless play, and think Fongbu Buffalo, if they didn't realize that already, really setting in the gravity of the situation. Like, this is a team that, you know, in a region that wants to prove themselves on a big stage, and they're playing at home. The pressure's certainly mounting for Fongbu Buffalo.
And so now it's where do Vega Squadron attack the map now that they've unlocked something like a Vi ultimate. Gadget level 5 right now, there's the possibility that you wait for the level 6 Ash Arrow and you try to stack ultimates, or maybe you play around a package window.
Right now, PVB getting their push on, but Gadget and Sanders will tank this up. Again, we still have that Inferno to talk about. Hasn't been taken, and we're almost at 10 minutes.
I have a feeling that's what we're going to see both these key ultimates used for.
They're just going to knock up the Crab, and maybe a catch. Oh, good juke around, but still tagged by the Q. There's the Braum ulti as well. Very well played by Pallet, and Anasik maybe forfeit, but Sanders there for the Devour. Here comes Vega. Pallet now the target. Boss flashes in, finds the ulti on a big core, and will get the flash. Finds the stun. Immaculately played by Vega.
They just destroy and wipe PVB off the face of that dragon. They then turn to the Infernal, and unless Meliodas can look for a steal here, doesn't have access to the flash, I think they have to give it away.
Where was this team 2 games ago? Looking, like, honestly completely different. They'll get the Infernal. Xerath, yes, he will get some turret plates there in top lane, but 1,000 gold up, starting to again pack that snowball together.
And you know, credit to Anasik because he eats up a lot of time here, able to dodge out the Varus ultimate. Yes, he's tagged by the Braum ultimate, but kind of bicycles the animation of the stun there by immediately locking onto a Vi ultimate. Yeah, so he basically comes out of the air from the Braum ult directly into Vi ultimate, so not a lot of time wasted.
And of course, Santa's there, ready with the save. And Boss with a beautifully aimed Vanguard's Edge. Gives Vega their 3rd kill of this game. I mean, Anasik also back down here. Gonna try and pressure for some plates. No ulti back yet for the Vi, but it's not that far away.
I also think, you know, he can set up the gank. He doesn't have a lot of the key ultimates up. They are just about to come up. Or if Santos and Gadget want to play aggressive, he's there.
Yep, being patient again, setting up the tent. Not a bad day for camping on Summoner's Rift, and Anasik starting to show a ton of attention here. No luck on that attempt, unfortunately, for him.
What is Meliodas going to do with the information now? So Anasik, he's like, I've been spotted. I'm now teaming up with the Tahm Kench. We suspect that they're going top lane. And look at the response from Vega. Immediately, No Man's pivots towards the top lane to protect or to scout anything out. They place vision on the Rift Herald and they say, okay, we've revealed our jungler. We have Meliodas figured out. He's going to try to trade something across map.
Zeros here. Up a little bit in gold, I think, thanks to the turret plates that he's gotten after Boss's TP. But, I mean, still even on CS. Aurelia's doing just fine there in the 1v1. In general, actually, CS is very close. Bot lane may be the exception. Big Cora was up 20 at one point, but that's been halved down to 10 or so. As Gadget will move in to clean up the rest of the wave that's being pushed in. And again, kind of keeping the more reserved pace indicates really the significance, the weight of this game for these two teams. Ulti down the bottom side, PVB may have found an opportunity. Gadget will be forced to flash away. Big Cora wants it, he's gonna chase in and he does grab the kill. Oh, the trade though, the tower is too much.
But the thing is that the wave is still pushing in, so still an advantage for PVB, but across map, it's Vega Squadron that are starting up the Rift Herald.
Yep, again, playing to where their strength is right now. Boss feeling confident, and Anasik the same. And they've pulled Santa's up as well. So Zeros gonna have to be careful here.
Careful as he walks into the pit.
Yep, straight in, looks for the stun, finds it. 2v3 into the Shroud right now. Zeros can get out with his ultimate here, but they actually want to try and commit for a kill. Zeros looks for Boss. They TP in as well. Boss is going to look to go down. The ulti is enough. Big Coral actually comes in with a TP and finds a snipe. Now Null already found the shockwave. Will flash after No Man's who follows.
So Vega Squadron did manage to get the Rift Herald out. It's now placed on a Nanasik, but TP play from Big Core, as you're talking about, comes back from the grave, immediately participates in the fight to clean up on the back half, and it looks like we've got a lane swap, possibly into a dive as Varus is top, but everyone else is looking mid.
No Man's just used the flash, does have the Valkyrie though. So here's a Nanasik now going to look for a snipe. Meliodas completely caught out of position. Can't run out of that ulti. Going to have to keep running in towards his teammates. Pallet here to maybe try and save the day. And, is enough to ward off the rest of Vega as Gadget forces Zeros' flash.
And he did that without the Ashe ultimate. Look, it's still on cooldown for Gadget, so really curious how that one happened.
Blade of the Ruined King, apparently enough in the 1v1. As Big Car and Pallet trying to collect some plate gold. There's a lot of movement on this map as the teams try and match each other. You can tell that both teams really want to break this game open for themselves, but so far all this fighting has really resulted in something that's mostly even. However, this Rift Tower probably going to change that.
Just feels like much cleaner macro rotations this time around from Vega, however. I love the fact that all of those plates ended up in No Man's back pocket. I think it means so much more for the likes of a Corki versus that Heimerdinger we were talking about a couple of games ago.
You can also see that PVB trying to collapse where they believe they have opportunity. Every little play that fails, that wastes a bit of time, does keep the gold ticking up for Vega here. Still only 1,000 golds up for the CIS, but trying to continue to defend here as a Nanasik will join Boston. Big Car and Pallet know there's no reason to stay around.
Yeah, and there was a trap being set up. You can see further down the lane that Santos and Gadget were waiting in the wings for that Abyssal Voyage. So seeing if Big Coro and Pallet would kind of test that 2v2 on the top side, maybe to get ganked, but it's now used to just continue the macro rotations from Vega Squadron, making sure that they're eating up every available resource of gold.
I mean, you want to talk about globals. Oh, actually, hold that thought. Sanchez going to get knocked up here. Gadget also getting tagged. But Big Coro can't really get it done. Oh, he does find the snipe. The Greyhound was not turned on. Now exhaust on the Gadget. Zeros here looking for a dive. He's ready with the ulti, but here comes No Man's in the mid for Null. That damage might be enough. Valkyrie forward. What a great shutdown 1v1 kill as Zeros also finds his mark in top lane.
So the mid lane's going well for Vega Squadron, but finally Pallet and Big Cora managed to get their hands onto Gadget and Santos and break the 2v2 up into the top side. But because it leads into a tower, it feels like it means more. Vega Squadron need to follow up on that Rift Herald mid lane and break that structure.
Well, they will get themselves a Cloud Drake at least, so just trading on the opposite side of the map for now, but This is going to be a fun one, no matter who wins. And this very well may go to 5, because you can just tell that these teams are kind of done playing. They've figured each other out. They've had enough time to kind of feel out what the other team wants to do. And now it feels like they're starting to meet very close together as far as their execution and skill goes.
And I'm glad that we're finally seeing Vegas Squadron kind of go back to comfort and go back what works for them. You know, as a famous, handsome man once said, play your style. And that's what Vegas Squadron needed to do. And it wasn't always about the cheese picks. It was about these comfort picks like the Corki.
Santa's had the cleanse, but that was not enough to save him here.
Yeah, I do like the snipe, however. You can see it looked like delayed on the gray health. Wasn't really expecting that one. But this is what PVB want. They want the skirmish. It feels like they're relying a bit too much on winning fights before transitioning them to objectives, where Vegas Squadron feels much more like they're setting up objectives, and it's not about the fight itself. If a fight happens afterwards, that's nice, but it's about the dragon. It's about the tower.
I actually think it's a great representation of these two teams' different styles. You know, PVB fight first, then take the thing. They go, you know, a bit slower, you know, fight for the thing, or set up for the thing, take it, but if it doesn't happen, maybe look for an opportunity elsewhere.
Yeah, it's a fact that if the fight ensues, then it's just kind of a cherry on top, because you usually have the confidence to take the objective if you're walking over to it, that you can take the fight. Personally, I prefer a style like Vegas a little bit more, but you can never discount just the raw aggression that PVB can catch you off guard.
Neither are wrong, I think is fair to say. PVB continuing that streak of aggression. They take the turret. Zeros turns in, looks for Gadget, does find the execution. And now the stun in gets another kill. PVB starting to heat up, Frosker.
But here comes Aurelia very deep into the back line.
Vanguard Zed lining up. Good ult there from Ananasik with the flash out as Vanguard Zed finds 3. Shockwave though is really good, but Ananasik does find the shutdown. It's 2 kills for Corki on top of it all. Shockwave is not enough to save Nolan Co.
And in the end though, Vegas Squadron come out on top. That is one member from PVB that just kind of limps away from the team fight right there. And yeah, they lost the tower, but they've got the minion wave behind them, and they're pushing it back down.
So Vega, good response. Oh, Pallet. Maybe a little too far forward, but does get back towards the safety of the turret. And I wonder if this is kind of a sign of PVB, you know, getting too eager too swiftly.
It's, again, it feels like they're not there for the mid lane tower, even though that was the primary objective, but they really wanted to dive. Like, if they stay, someone in the comms is saying, go for the dive, go for the dive. If they stay, we can dive them. And they just don't account for the kind of the retaliation that Vegas Squadron are able to output with their champions.
There's a good TP in from Boss. As I was looking at it earlier, although again, hold that thought. Every time I want to talk about globals, Nor flushing out of the way as Ananasik camps the brush, but it's 2 from PvP up here already. Ananasik out of there, No Man's maybe not so lucky. They'll dive a little bit, and that's goodbye. Shutdown over to Null.
That moment when you realize top first tower is still available.
Okay, well, Ananasik gets out of the way, and it is one of those things where there are so many teleports in this game that both teams, I feel like, the same thing has happened. When we don't bring enough people to the fight, we lose. We don't want to lose fights, so we're going to try and make sure we have, and that means multi-teleports plus spellbooks across many different champions in this game.
I mean, that was the thing. There was like 3 spellbooks in this game, and maybe the TPs have exhausted themselves a little bit, at least for some of these members, but...
Including spellbooks, there are 7 TPs available in this game. But as you said, it seems like some of them not available for a little while. And we'll definitely be interested to see if this game goes longer than our first 3 have gone. They have been quite short.
This is
How the teams can use those.
One team fight away from a Baron into what feels like a collapse. And you can tell that both teams are confident making hunting plays like that.
Nice ult there from Big Koro, well aimed, but Santa's had the cleanse, so nothing to write home about after all that. Cloud Drake back up in a minute. Vegas do have the first 2. But Baron for the first time up in 10 seconds as well.
And I do want to note that Vega have what I feel like is a map advantage in terms of how they want to play their win conditions. It feels like PVB are much more reliant on playing a 1-4 or playing grouped up with their composition for it to really work. Whereas Vegas Squadron, I feel like, have more options to play these side lanes because Corki is so strong and because Aurelia and Vi are also in really nice places.
Again, if we talk about the formula we saw last game, certainly still enacted here for Vega. And Ananasik had another good start. No Man's is kind of the recipient of all his hard work. And on a signature pick for him like Corki, already with the Triforce and the Eye Edge done. Those are really the 2 like tough humps for Corki to get over because they're so expensive.
The most expensive build path.
But once you're there, things only start to get better for Corki, who scales exceptionally well.
This is a Cloud Dragon that's spawning, so if Vega feel like their vision has been exhausted from this area and they don't want to face check into it, there's no reason they can actually just let this one go. If they contest for the Cloud, to me, it says that Vega are feeling so confident that they want the team fight more than the objective, so they can quickly swing to Baron.
Well, we're going to move into the area, and Zeros actually went to the bot lane, so he does have TP, but will not really be here in time for this Drake. In fact, there's the arrow out, and Anasik finds the ulti on the big Koro. They've got no way to really save him, but a good shockwave may be enough here. Bot's going to try and dive in, but Nomad straight in there with the package, moves into the backline, and that's actual demolition from Vega Squadron. That's the ace.
And PVB have just been wiped off the face of this map right now. It's only one member left for Vega, and they're marching towards that Baron. Like I said, it wasn't about the Cloud Dragon, it was about the fight. It was about the Baron.
And the fight they found, Nomad's even leaving the area to get the turret started early. He's seen the party in that Nexus. He wants to go straight there.
And the momentum is now behind Vega Squadron. They have learned that they can do this. They managed to win that uphill mental climb over PVB being 2 games up on them. And not just 2 games, but a smashing performance from them.
At this rate, it would feel... I'm trying to think. It just feels like we're going to Game 5. I'll put it that way. With the way Vega are playing, how confidently they approach this team fight, I would be shocked if we didn't go the distance here. And
this team fight is really kicked off by how many engage tools that Vega Squadron have. The fact that they can throw the Ash Arrow and then very quickly follow it up with the Vi ultimate. You had a gorgeous Valkyrie there from Nomads to follow his Aurelia into the backline. Just ripped PVB apart.
Upgraded by the jetpack as well, and the thing I missed was that Null TP'd in the middle of that fight. He had Spellbook swap to exhaust, and I have to assume he was trying to press the exhaust button, which might have done something on the back half of that fight, but didn't even get that done, and No Man's cleaned house there.
You cast your mind back to that TL series, it was also Null that was making very uncharacteristic mechanical mistakes, you know, messing up his flash over the wall or not comboing correctly. And so another maneuver like that, you have to think maybe something's getting in his head, something's messing with him.
I think the pressure is starting to get to Fengvu a little. We've seen, some failed flashes last game from them. See that mistake there from Null in the middle of that team fight. I mean, there's just so much pressure in this game. Best of 5 series are always grueling, and if you have to play one more game, given the momentum that Vega have shown you throughout this series, well, this catch would be good. Nomad's going to be the target. That's a shutdown for Big Koro. There may be signs of life yet.
But that said, that's still a lot of Barons alive on Vega Squadron. Another tower that's going to fall. And No Man should be able to walk out. Oh, just shake that one off. Still sitting 6-2 on the score key. Very fat and happy.
Won't be happy to give over the goal, but certainly, already 3 items. We were talking about his 2-item spike a few minutes ago. Now he's already at 3.5.
It only gets better from here.
PVB, though, need to stay strong. Minute 30 for Vega left on the Baron buff, but a pick onto No Man's probably calls off the rest of the siege, so it's unlikely Fenghu Buffalo will lose too much more, at least while the Baron is still on the members of Vega.
It just feels like because Nong also had to go second item into Banshee Veil, respecting a lot of the CC potential, that unfortunately that kind of subs him out from this power window. Like, if Fengvu Buffalo want to have another go at this, you're basically looking at an Orianna to just rock people with a shockwave, but because second item defensive, it's going to take her that much longer before she's actually going to be a relevant party in these team fights. So this is going to be a very long stall game for the Buffaloes if they want to come back in this game.
And I know we kept highlighting the differences between the jungles, but you can look down out those inventories, and I don't need to tell you what the number is for you to know that Ananasik is incredibly far ahead of his opponent. But if you care, it's about 3,000 gold ahead.
It's a lot. And now this is the setup. How can the collective wave clear of the Buffaloes stall out long enough for them to hopefully get a wombo combo miracle fight back? Or are Vega Squadron just going to see their moment, pull the trigger on the arrow, follow it up with the Vi, and end this and take us to Game 5?
Seems like it's lights out, but certainly PVB will fight on. They're capable of winning this game, although it is a very tough ask given the deficit they're already in. Baron is thankfully wearing off, so that siege power will be dropping off before the next wave can crash.
We are in a bit of an ARAM right now.
I mean, PVB don't want to go anywhere else, because if they leave, I feel like they know they die.
It's fine for PVB to be in this situation. I feel like there's options that Vega Squadron could actually be playing multiple lanes, but No Man's has seemed to decided that he is going to stack up with his team. I feel like Corki should actually be out in one of those side lanes, and they should be trying to split up PVB.
Yeah, I wonder how much longer they'll stay out here, because again, they've got gold to spend, I have to assume. Yes, they do. Not that much, but still something you might as well go and cash in. The next Drake's coming up in 13 seconds, although it is only Cloud number 2. They're very persistent to want to knock down this mid-tier 2. Maybe just waiting for the Drake spawn until they find their reset, thinking that PVB probably not going to challenge them for that.
They're slowly chipping away at it, so yeah, they're doing some damage, but I agree with you, Pastry Time. They're basically just feeding in free gold to the Buffaloes right now, specifically on Null's Orianna.
Well, Ananasik did go down to finish off that Drake. It looks like Vega will be taking a reset pretty shortly, and with Baron back up in a minute 30, we want to get themselves out onto the map and setting up for that objective once again.
Which means that the ARAM mid lane doesn't hurt them as much as I feel like it did for kind of the last 2 minutes, slowing down some of the tempo for Vega. They want to make sure that they keep priority here, kind of mistime some of their backs to pick up vision. You can see the control wards now in Santos' inventory, and it's just going to be the Baron choke out.
Again, let's go visit the lanes. TPs are almost coming back off cooldown as well, so No Man's maybe feels a bit more comfortable pushing a side lane, given that he can join a fight nice and quickly. Vega just going to push some meaning waves mid and then go and get some vision there around the Baron, and seems like, again, a nice controlled position for them to play out. See if PVB have anything creative in the tank, because finding a fight is really tough given the deficit they're still in.
My eyes are on Zeros right now in this 1v1. I was curious if he was able to make it good.
Not much of a 1v1, just has to disengage, force the flash and the ulti and the shuriken flip plus the shroud.
So there we go, there's the answer. I wanted No Man's into a side lane. I thought that he would have the 1v1 advantage. Now No Man's knows that he has the 1v1 advantage, burning the flash right there. And Vega, if they want to, can continue to kind of leverage these types of lane assignments to abuse proper positioning or better positioning over the Baron.
Yep, nice handoff there. Boss is like, okay, I'll go back down to the side lane now. Actually, Zerasa is unknowingly about to get aggressed on by the Aurelia, but Boss is going to miss that stun as Zeros drops the shroud. But he's the one that's going to apply pressure here while the rest of Vega go play around the Baron.
Yep, push the mid lane forward, walk into upper river. You're then going to start staggering your sweepers, clearing out all that vision. And I guess hitting the Baron even though it's warded.
Yep, Sanders is like, needs to go over. Oh, it's a little bit to the left. All right, he does find the ward. No Man's also ready with the package. Yep, Eliota's going to dive in, but package out, unstoppable during that. As Null, again, going to get ulti, that's rough. Goodbye, Orianna. Probably going to dive back in, but I don't know if PVB can win this. No Man's are going to say, you absolutely cannot win this. And Vega going to grab every single kill. Only Zeros left, because he was in the other lane.
And that's a free Baron if they want, but more importantly, they can actually just shove this wave into the mid lane. Zeros can't stand there.
There might be a discount Nexus instead. He's invisible, but not going to matter too much. Again, tries to find a kill, and Anasik dodges out. TP back in from the Corki. No Man's decides to rejoin the fight. That's an ace. We're going to game 5 for Oscar and Vega Squadron playing absolutely incredible across these last 2 games.
I don't know if they can end it though on this wave. They are trying to protect the cannon creep so that they can keep the tower fortification down.
They're going to make a go of it if nothing else. Vega, so much power, so much strength. And looks like they have enough to knock down the Nexus. The respawn's barely up in time as Vega Squadron going to have a scraping silver all the way to game 5.